Hello, this is Tom Britt. West Tennessee PBS is working hard to bring you more local shows and quality PBS programs. And they need your financial help because they don't run commercials, they rely on your support. It's easy to donate. Go to their website, westtnpbs.org, and click on the Donate tab. Your donations to Channel 11 stay local and help WLJT-TV continue their mission to be as local as possible.
Good afternoon. Dr. Carol Rothstein is the president of Jackson State Community College. Sorry, I'm with the university. She's with the college. Sorry. Forget where. Sometimes we're on the same campus, so sometimes I forget where I am because I go out recruiting with them. So, with Jackson State Community College, an institution that has seen sizable growth in many areas, including its enrollment, since she was named the 7th president of the college in the fall of 2023. Dr. Rothstein is a first-generation high school and college student from West Virginia, where she began her educational career at Blue Ridge Community and Technical College. Along with being a first-generation college student, she was also a non-traditional student, raising a family as she pursued her education. She is married to Gary Rothstein, who some of you may know, and has 3 children who have since gone on to graduate from college as well. Dr. Rothstein is a strong advocate that education is for everyone. Whether it's a traditional academic degree, technical certificate, or even advanced training, she holds the belief that anyone can pursue education to better themselves, achieve their goals, and better their communities. Dr. Rothstein holds a Doctorate of Education in Leadership, Higher Education Administration from Frostburg State University, a Master of Arts in Management and Leadership, and a Bachelor of Science in Education, both at Liberty University. She also was recently selected as a member of Leadership Tennessee's 2024-2025 class, Signature Program Class 6, and not too long ago became a new member of Rotary, which is probably her biggest achievement. Without further ado, please welcome my friend, Dr. Carol Rothstein.
Well, while we're waiting on that, it's been about 1.5 years since I was up here on day 3, thanks to Frank, when I was presenting when I had first started. And, you know, a lot has changed in that 1.5 years. And when you see the first slide, you'll notice one big change for me was, you'll see I used to have dark hair. And so now with the blonde hair, I had to go all in. When I had to dance for Dancing with the Stars and I had to be Sandy, Sandy has blonde hair. So I thought, hey, if you're going to do something, you got to do it well. And so I went all in and having fun. So I thought I'll keep it. But you'll see a lot of different changes. But one of the things that has remained the same is on that day, I've made a commitment to strengthening the relationships, the resources, and the reputation of Jackson State. And that's one thing that has stayed the same. And I'm going to show you some different pictures, hopefully, of all of the things that we have done to keep that commitment to those 3 things. And, of course, one of the things, last week, here we go, Kyle Spurgeon was here and he talked about the Jackson State representation at the SOAR Awards. Well, TBR every year has the Statewide Outstanding Achievement Recognition Award, and those awards are for your outstanding faculty, outstanding students, and outstanding staff members of the year. So yeah, see, there was me all bright and young and ready to go, so yeah. So at the SOAR Awards, we had we had speakers for our Student Honors Award luncheon. And it was a nice ode to Jackson State that both of the speakers were from Jackson State. So on your left there is Darren Hart. He was a Jackson State graduate and is now an Ayers Foundation counselor. And then in the middle is Levi Mason, who is a current student in our AMT program who was getting ready to graduate. So it was very nice that they were both asked by the chancellor to come and speak to all of TBR about their wonderful experiences. So as I was saying, those SOAR awards go to your outstanding students, staff, and faculty. And we were one of the only colleges, I think we were the only college that had 2 finalists. So they pick a finalist from each region, and then they go to the state and go on to compete against other finalists. And so we had Leah Mustang was our student of the year. Leah is a non-traditional student. Her story is amazing. When she was in high school, she dropped out of school to take care of her father, who was very sick. She raised her family. She ended up getting her GED. And then when COVID happened, she got COVID and had a heart attack. And she was in her 40s, and she thought she was going to die. But when she recovered, she realized she wanted to be a nurse. And so she enrolled at Jackson State in our nursing program, and I'm happy to say that Leah is getting ready to graduate this May and go to work. She's already working for, I think it's West Tennessee Healthcare. And so she's already out there working as she's going to school. On the right there, you'll see that's Preston Turner, and he's our director of our physical plant. So Preston is responsible for all the projects that we're going to talk about here. He oversees all the renovations, all the campus construction, and of course our grounds crew. And he and his team are responsible for, thank you, Mayor, for the Mayor Civic Pride Award for the most beautiful campus in Jackson. And so we're very, very happy about that. And so you'll see our campus here. And although it's very beautiful, and we're already making some changes, I think in about 2 to 3 years, you might not even recognize Jackson State because there's so many more things that are happening, and we've already made improvements to this picture here. So one of the things that I've already talked about here, and that many of you came to our groundbreaking for our Regional Workforce Training Center, and there we have Senator Ed Jackson was there to help us celebrate that, along with Kyle Spurgeon and the Chancellor. And of course, President Rainey from TCAT and Levi, the student we talked about already, were there to celebrate. Just want to keep this in your mind, we're hoping shovels go in the ground any day now, so we're just waiting for that to happen. But there's outside of our Regional Workforce Training Center. Some of the things that we'll do inside is it's going to be beautiful. It's going to have that flexible training lab. It's going to have a 200-person event space for any conferences and things like that that people would like to have on our campus. So we're very excited about that. You'll also see in the next few weeks, you're going to see some construction on the outside of some of our other buildings. So our administration building, we've already renovated the inside. But now we're re-bricking the whole outside so that it will match the new building. So it's going to look like the health sciences, the nursing, and our Regional Workforce Training Center. So that's happening right now. As soon as we just finished the inside, we're going to do the outside. And then you can see our student center there. That's our old facade. You can see the nursing center in the back. We're also going to redo the outside of the student center as soon as we're finished the administration building so that it also, when you go down Parkway, it's going to look like a brand new campus all the way down. So we're also renovating a lot of our athletic fields. This is a drawing of where you'll see our new baseball field. So we're going to move our baseball field, which is right here. We're going to move it over here. We're going to make it bigger. We're planning for a soccer field in the middle, and then, of course, they'll have our softball field there along that. And along with that, you're going to have restrooms and concession stands right there on the field. So it's going to be just, again, a nice, beautiful upgrade to our athletic facilities. One of the things we've also, and you're going to hear from Dr. Lynham in a minute, but a lot of these are his brainchild when you're talking about athletics. This is an investment we made for our student athletes because we want them to get better, but we also don't want them to get hurt. And the way to do that is to give them facilities to train in. And so we've invested in some rogue equipment. So you will not see this at other community colleges, that our student athletes have a great workout center to help them get better and to stay healthy. We've also invested in teaching. This is our Dr. Michelle Camp Teaching and Learning Center, where our faculty go for professional development to help bring innovation into their classrooms and to make sure that they're increasing their teaching practices to help our students be successful. We're also very proud of all of our veterans, our students who have served or are serving, and so we're creating a veterans lounge for them in our student center where they have a place to go and fellowship with each other, have a place where they can work and study and be together there as well and just be appreciated as veterans. So I have this picture there because one of the biggest investments we're making right now is in our library. And what we're doing with our library is we are making it a learning commons. And so it'll look similar to this, although this is Vanderbilt, so don't, Vanderbilt, we're in here somewhere, yeah. So but we are making a lot of upgrades to give it a place where students have a place where they can go collaborate with each other, they can study. We're investing in full-time tutors. Currently, if you need a tutor, you have to schedule and make sure that the peer tutor matches your schedule. We're going to have 4 to 5 full-time tutors on staff all day so that if you need help, it's available and it's there. So we're investing in student success and student support. I pulled this picture because our new Dean of Learning Resources, who's going to oversee all that, she's actually currently employed at the Vanderbilt University Law Library. And so she's bringing all of that knowledge of what Vanderbilt has just gone through this process, and she's going to bring it to Jackson State. So I talked about investing in student support. So we have students like myself who are first-generation students, and we know that those students sometimes have a higher risk of dropping out because they're just not sure how to navigate those processes. And so we have an initiative on campus that if you see one of these signs, a button or that sign on somebody's door, you know you can go and talk to them without any judgment because they've been in your shoes. So we're trying to help students feel comfortable and feel like they can be successful on our campus. Some of you have met Cicely Freeman, who was here, and now Cicely was our executive director of the foundation, and unfortunately Cicely had wanted to spend more time with her family, and so she left us. She's staying on as a consultant to help us transition to find a new executive director, but what she did while she was here was amazing. She helped generate more donations to help support scholarships. So we gave away $53,000 in scholarships. Now some of you think, we have Promise, so you don't have tuition. What do you use scholarships for? But Promise doesn't cover textbooks. Promise doesn't cover supplies and nursing scrubs and all of those things. It also doesn't help a student if they get a flat tire or if their lights are getting shut off. So we have grants available to students that if you are struggling and say your power is getting ready to be shut off, you can apply for an emergency grant and we will help you get the lights turned back on. And so that's what all these scholarships go to. And we also have students who don't qualify for any financial aid. And so that's where we want to make sure that everyone has access to education. And there's my good friend Anita. So we go out on a Go Green tour for all of our recruiting. We have 10 stops. We go to the high schools. Last year, Henry helped me out a little bit. Last year we had some schools that had maybe 6 applicants. And this year we have all the way up to 100 applicants at some of those same schools. And so we're out there and they're realizing that this is the option here, is a great option to go to Jackson State. You get a $500 scholarship to go to Jackson State. When you complete and transfer to UT Martin, you get a $500 scholarship from UT Martin as well. And so we're doing this together because we believe in partnerships with all of our institutions. As Anita said, I believe it doesn't matter where you go, as long as you're getting some type of education, because it really is important for everyone to get education or training. So we want to partner with those institutions. So we also do a lot of non-credit workforce training. And so you'll see here, that's our Professor Candace Sweet. She is our communications professor, but she's also very trained in AI. And so she's working with the chamber, also doing contractor training with a lot of companies doing AI training, which we all know is going to be very critical in the future. It's critical now. And so how do we use AI? And Professor Sweet is out there training people on that. We also have a dental technician program where we're working with Helping Hands. These students are 3D printing dental appliances and dental dentures, things like that. So we're helping students through non-credit workforce to be able to provide those trainings as well. Middle college students, these are all early college, high school students that are sitting on that wall. And so a lot of times we talk about our nursing, AMT, and all of our career programs, which are very important. Most of our students are in a transfer pathway because they know they want to get a bachelor's degree. So they're in those transfer pathways. Where are those students going? This is just some of the places that our students transfer. So yes, we have a lot of students that go to UT Martin, a lot of students that go to Middle Tennessee State, but you can see that they're going everywhere, including Ireland. So our students can go anywhere that they want to. We currently have a student that was a early college high school student, graduated with Jackson State, went on to, or she was a middle college student at Lexington, She was a middle college student at Lexington, went on to Vanderbilt, is now running track for Vanderbilt. So our students can literally go anywhere that they want to. This is just a way to do it at a low cost or free sometimes for them, that pathway to get those first 2 years. And here's where this all leads us to. Our enrollment is up 16.1% as of yesterday over last year's enrollment. And we're leading the state in that enrollment. So in the fall, we were first in the number of full-time freshman students coming in. In the spring, we're second, but it's only like by 0.2, 0.3 percentage points. So we're still calling it, we're calling it a tie for first, but so our enrollment is up and continues to grow. And you can see that big dip there where we actually had 4 counties reassigned to another college in the summer of '23. And so despite that, our enrollment is higher than when we had those 4 counties. So we're continuing to grow. But it's not just about Jackson State and what can people do for us and what can we do for our students, but we're invested in the community. And so I'm just going to go through some of the things that we do for the community as well, because we believe it takes all of us. And this is the brainchild of Dr. Lynham as well, is that his athletes did a toy drive and were able to serve how many students? It was hundreds of cars, it felt like. They were going out in the middle of the toy drive and just buying new toys. It was all morning long. They were serving families, and he can talk a little bit more about that, but they were doing that at Christmas time. We had the suicide prevention walk out of the darkness. We hosted that on our campus. The Robo Rumble with the high schools, we hosted that on campus. We were at RIFA's Construction. Our team won for the most creative use of labels for Rosie the Riveter. You can see her in the background there. And then, of course, Dancing with the Stars, where I had to dye my hair and become Sandy, and we're at the Strawberry Festival there. That was a lot of fun. If you ever get asked to do it, I highly encourage you to do it. It was a great way to support the Star Center. We have an Easter egg drop, and I'm going to have Dr. Lynham come up and finish us out here so he can talk about this Easter egg drop with another way that we're trying to be involved in the community and support everyone from children to whatever age that we want to be there and support Jackson.
Good afternoon. My name is Kevin Lydeman. I am privileged and honored to be the Director of Athletics at Jackson State Community College, and thank you so much for allowing me the time to speak with you all today. First and foremost, I want to say that I am pleased to be able to work for the best president across the continental United States. I've had the opportunity to work at various institutions, some upward 8, 9, 10 across my career, and I will tell you that when she puts her best foot forward for our institution every single day, and I'm truly honored and privileged to be here and to work for you. So thank you so much, ma'am. But look, a lot of the stuff that she talks about, she calls me the brainchild, whatever. It doesn't happen without her approval. It does not happen without her support. And that's just the kind of support. If you looked at the FTE numbers, you saw the head count numbers, and you see how Jackson State is trending, which is upward. That all comes from leadership. It all stems from leadership. And so thank you, ma'am, for all that you do with that. But yes, we are super excited. If you don't know, I'm going to go back a slide. April 19th, which is the day before Easter, we're actually going to be holding an Easter egg drop here in Jackson, Tennessee, where we're putting out over 50,000 eggs and inviting all of West Tennessee right here to Jackson, Tennessee. We're super excited about that. We've already have a lot of confirmations of people that are attending. Dr. Rothstein kind of spoke to our toy drive that took place in December. In that toy drive, we were able to give to over 300 families. Over 300 kids, about over 700 families. And it was a very successful event, and from that, we just saw the impact that it made within the community, and we wanted to keep plugging away. We feel like we have a great, unique situation over there at Jackson State. We have a phenomenal community, and we always want to find ways that we can give back and partner with some community partner members around here so that we can give back to the community. So that on April 19th, that's going to be happening. It's going to be fun, games, music, vendors, and also we got a baseball game that starts at 12 o'clock that day. So right after you finish picking up your eggs, you can go ahead over to the baseball park and catch you some conference action here to watch our baseball team. That's me, but I want to talk to you about this. This is some new things, some new happenings that is happening here at Jackson State Community College. This year, we are, going into next year, the next academic year, we are privileged and honored to be able to bring in men's and women's cross country, half marathon, as well as women's volleyball. These are 5 sports or 5 programs that we are implementing for the new academic year, and we are extremely excited. Thus far, I'll tell you, our coaches have came in and really hit the ground running. To date, our volleyball team is almost completely full with this roster. Both of those sports are fall sports, so they're going to be kicking off in August of this year. And we're excited to get those kids on campus. We've been doing a lot of preparations, a lot of renovations. Dr. Rothstein kind of talked to some of the things that's going on in athletics from a building and facility standpoint. And I will tell you that it's really coming together for those teams. The locker rooms are looking great. The rosters are looking great. And we're excited to kick this off coming this fall. So if you hadn't had the opportunity, also, we now have the Jackson State Community College Athletics website. So if you haven't had the opportunity to visit that, please go to jsccgreenjays.com, where you can see all of the athletics happenings, all of our team schedules, all of our coaches, and all of that great information. But I'm going to keep moving on. I want to tell you about these two people right here. So these were our first inaugural head coaches for the cross country and the volleyball programs. Many of you may know that gentleman to the left there. He is a local legend. At least that's how I feel. Out of USJ, he was a cross country coach over there for about 13 years. And he came over to Jackson State to come and lead our program, and we could not be more happier to have him, and that gentleman being Arthur Pretty. We're excited for Coach Pretty. We know his track record. He's been very successful over at USJ. He has great ties, community ties within Jackson and all of West Tennessee, and it's already showing in his work as he recruits for his team for their inaugural season. Our other coach being Alexis Capales. She came to us from Labette Community College, having the community college background as a player and as a coach. Had the opportunity to compete at 2 Division IIs and also competed professionally overseas. And so she's bringing all of that experience that she's been able to get over the years to be able to pour into our student athletes that we're bringing here at Jackson State Community College. And look, we're stoked. We're stoked. We have seasoned veterans, if you will, in their respective sports that's coming to pour into our kids. And we feel really good about the success that those programs are going to have in the upcoming years. So I'll round it out by saying thank you all so much for your support to Jackson State Community College. Again, I am glad to be here. Could not think of a better institution to be at. You know, some of our colleagues every day, I'm going to put them out there in front of the president. They say, well, do you ever regret the decision? Absolutely not. I love it here. I love this community. I love this institution. And there's no place I would rather be. Thank you.
I think it went on. Nope, it's still on. So we have a few minutes. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer. Yes. So right now we're at 3,305 students. Yeah. Yes.
What's the capacity for the new workforce training center?
So when you're talking about, 'cause it's so multi-use that the capacity would be a hard thing to talk about, because you have a big space that is dedicated just for non-credit training for companies to do contracted training, to bring equipment in and out. But then we're also moving our engineering science AMT program over there to expand that. That currently has over 80 students in different cohorts, so that will be able to be expanded. But then we also have TCAT will be in there, faculty, and then also our community spaces. And then we have some other classrooms. We have 9 classrooms and 3 computer labs in there. So capacity, there's a lot of additional capacity that it gives us. But as far as telling you what exactly number that would be, it's hard because it's so multi-use. Yeah, Frank.
They took away 3 counties.
4.
4 counties?
Yes.
Can y'all not go into those counties?
So we can't do recruiting in those counties, and we don't do the dual enrollment in those counties anymore. And that's really where you'll see that drop in enrollment was the other community college took over the dual enrollment for those counties. Now, anybody in those counties can absolutely still enroll at Jackson State once they graduate, and we certainly want them. But we just don't go over there and recruit unless, you know, the president and I, we sometimes do cross over, but we always, as a courtesy, we ask them permission. Hey, we go to this event? Just because we're all TBR and we're all wanting to support students, and so we want to make sure everyone is served. And we know sometimes that we have a program that maybe they don't, and vice versa, so we do allow each other into those spaces, but dual enrollment, we wouldn't serve those dual enrollment high schools. Yes?
Carol, congratulations on the student enrollment.
Thank you.
I'm hearing there's a demographic of 18-year-olds kind of falling off, down this next year. Is that?
So if you're talking about like the high school, what they call the high school enrollment or graduation cliff, that is not something that we have yet to experience. And one of the things with Jackson is Jackson's growing so much that I don't think that we will actually see that dip anytime necessarily soon, because so many families are moving in. Our 18-year-old, 19-year-old enrollment is growing. And like I said, we were the highest in the state as far as new freshman students. And so we're not seeing that decline. What we're seeing in a decline, the only demographics we're seeing a decline in are students who are over 45. In those adult student populations, we're seeing some declines there. But as far as the younger students, 75% of our students are younger students, and those populations are continuing to grow.
Talk a little bit about the nursing program again. How many you have, and do they go on to another school, or how are they certified after they graduate?
Sure. So I don't have the exact numbers on our nursing program, but we'll say that they are registered nurses, the same as if you get a bachelor's degree. You get the same certification to be a nurse. You sit for the same boards. You just have an associate degree versus the bachelor's degree, but they do go on to get their bachelor's degree. The difference being there often is, can you take on administrative roles, and can you go on to your master's if you want to move up into there? But they do all the same things as a bachelor's degree certified nurse. But we have a lot of different partnerships with institutions, and they do go on to get their nursing, like we have in UT Martin and a lot of other programs that they go on to. And we do have 100% pass rates on our NCLEX. Yes. Yes, so that's a great thing. So we do international education, which you might not consider at a community college, but last year we sent 23 students overseas to study abroad. What we want to do, most of those were general education students, so we want to make sure our career and technical education students have the opportunity to do that as well. And so we're starting a program in Australia for our advanced manufacturing students. In order to do that, we had to send our faculty over there to set that program up. And so Ben is over there right now setting up a program in Australia for our advanced maintenance technician students so that they can go over there next year and enjoy that program. And those study abroad opportunities go everywhere from Australia to Japan to Ecuador. So they're all over the country studying. And that goes back to our foundation. We give them scholarships because a lot of our students can't afford to take those programs. And so we scholarship those students, and in order to do that, we do need funds and fundraising to help us accomplish that. So, great question, thank you. All right, well, thank you guys very much.
This program you've been watching was made possible through the generous financial support of West Tennessee PBS viewers like you. Please visit westtnpbs.org and make a donation today so that we can continue to make local programs like this possible. Thank you.